Okay. In this video, I explain about the functions of the mitochondria. Okay, functions of the mitochondria. The main function, the first function is so generally helps in the ATP synthesis. Helps in the ATP synthesis. Okay, helps in the ATP synthesis. Okay, and through the electron transport system. Through the electron transport system. Okay, electron transport system. Okay, right. So here it is also responsible in a cellular respiration. In a cellular respiration. Okay, so cellular respiration. Okay, so cellular respiration, that means Krebs cycle. Okay, or Krebs cycle. Okay, right. So and there is another function is thermiogenesis. Helps in the thermiogenesis. Okay, right. So thermiogenesis means here the production of heat. Okay, so production of heat. Okay, so another function is that is cytoplasmic inheritance. Cytoplasmic inheritance. Okay, so what is cytoplasmic inheritance? So cytoplasmic inheritance means, so generally you know the word inheritance. So inheritance means generally the genes are transfers from one generation to another generation. Okay, so genes are transfers from one generation to another generation. That is called inheritance. If you focus on the only nuclear DNA, but mitochondria also contains own DNA. Okay, also contains DNA. Okay, so that DNA will transfer from through the cytoplasm. The mitochondrial DNA transfers from one generation to another generation through the cytoplasm. So that is called as cytoplasmic inheritance. That means ours mitochondria comes only from our mothers. Our mitochondria comes only from our mothers only. Through our mothers only. Okay, so why? Because if you take for example this one is the so this is the ovum. Okay, so this is the ovum and this is the nucleus. Okay, and this is the sperm. So this one is the sperm. Okay, at the time of fertilization, generally what happens? Generally the head only fuses with the nucleus of the ovum. Okay, the head only fuses. Okay. With the ovum. Okay, right. But the head does not contains mitochondria, because the mitochondria only present the middle part of the sperm only. So head does not contains. But here the ovum contains mitochondria. Ovum contains mitochondria. Okay. So after the fertilization, generally the egg, the ovum become a zygote. Okay, it become a zygote. Okay, it become a zygote. Okay, it become a zygote. Okay, then what happens? The zygote also contains mitochondria, but the mitochondria comes only from the ovum, through the cytoplasm. Are you clear? Yes. So that type of inheritance. Okay, so this is one generation, this is another generation. Okay, so that type of inheritance is called as cytoplasmic inheritance. Okay, right. So this is about, and there is another function is to produce the heme part, to produce the heme part of hemoglobin, and myoglobin. Okay, mitochondria produce the heme part of the hemoglobin and myoglobin. Okay, right. So there is another function is secretion of enzymes. Okay, right. So secretion, the secretion of enzymes. Okay, so secretion of enzymes. So that means here the zymogen cells are present. So zymogen cells secretes proteolytic enzymes. Proteolytic enzymes. Okay, proteolytic enzymes. Okay, right. And there is another function is it helps in fat metabolism. It helps in fat metabolism. Helps in fat metabolism. Okay, so fat metabolism. Okay, right. So there is another function is that is it forms the sperm middle part. It forms generally the mitochondrial membrane generally forms sperm middle part. Okay, so mitochondrial membrane forms the sperm middle part. Okay, right. Another important function is that is it helps in the vitellogenesis. That means yolk formation. Helps in the yolk formation. Generally, in the egg formation, Golgi apparatus also involved. So Golgi plus mitochondria both are forms the yolk. Okay, right. So these are the general functions of the mitochondria. Okay, right. There is another thing I will already misread that is chemical structure of the mitochondria. Okay, so there I already misread that is called as chemical structure. Okay, so chemical components of mitochondria. Okay, so there is what is the chemical nature? Here mitochondria contains proteins. Mitochondria contains proteins and lipids. Okay, and DNA, RNA. Okay, DNA, RNA. Okay, and respiratory enzymes. So respiratory enzymes. Okay, so respiratory enzymes and divalent ions, magnesium, manganese. Okay, here the magnesium. Okay, so manganese, ferrous, like this. Okay, so here the proteins generally have 65 to 75%. Okay, so your lipids, if you take the lipids, they are present 25 to 30% lipids. Okay, so lipids are classified into 3 types here. Okay, 3 types of lipids are present. That is phospholipids. So phospholipids. Okay, so phospholipids. Okay, so they are present 90%. Okay, another is cholesterol. Okay, so cholesterol. So they are in 5%. And another one is fatty acid. So fatty acids. So they are 5%. Okay, right. So another DNA. If you take the DNA, so it has 1% and RNA 0.5% is present. Okay, so right. This is the chemical components of the mitochondria. Okay, right.